It was not the best of starts for Manchester United last weekend in the Premier League, and they will be looking to pick things up when they take on Brighton this weekend. Mark Ogden has put his OGS hat on and picked a first 11 for us. And I'm just going to remind Mark who he did pick. Mark, you've gone for De Gea in goal, and it's a back four of Wan-Bissaka, Harry Maguire, Eric Bailly, and Luke Shaw. You've got Matic holding, Fernandes and Van der Beek back in, and you've got Greenwood, Martial, and Rashford in your front line. So let's talk about some of the omissions here. Where's Victor Lindelof?
Well, Victor Lindelof had a really bad game on the opening weekend against Palace, and for me, that's been the tale of his Man United career. He's just not very convincing. He's a centre-half that can't head the ball, isn't very quick, gets bullied by centre-forwards. So for me, he's not good enough. And I think when Eric Bailly comes in, you know, Bailly does have a reputation for maybe being a bit rash at times, a bit reckless, injury-prone. But he does bring pace to the equation, and Harry Maguire's not got a lot of pace. So when Bailly plays, he does actually give United's defence a bit more movement around the pitch, a bit more pace, a bit more dimension, an extra dimension. So I'm not suggesting he's the best defender at the club. I think United have got a problem at centre half. They need to address that by getting better players. But I think Bailly at the minute is the best option they have to play alongside Maguire.
Talking about playing alongside people, obviously last year everybody was getting really excited about Bruno Fernandes and Paul Pogba, but you've gone for Donny van de Beek here, one of the few positives from last weekend with a goal on his debut. Are you suggesting he's going to push Pogba out this season?
Well, you know, Van der Beek also played quite well in the game against Luton on Tuesday night in the Carabao Cup. I just think with Van der Beek, you get a bit of everything. You get industry, you get defensive discipline, you get goals, you get attacking quality. He's unselfish, and I think you don't get a lot of those with Paul Pogba, do you? I mean, Pogba, you know, on his day is a world-class talent. He could tear teams apart, but his day never seems to come anymore. It just seems to be, you know, 1 in 10, if that. So, you know, Pogba's defensive discipline is very poor. If he doesn't fancy it in a game, he really lets the side down. So I think until Pogba can find his feet this season and get himself going again, you play Van der Beek. And I think, you know, Van der Beek and Fernandes is quite a good partnership because it enables Fernandes to attack more, and Van der Beek can kind of sit in between Nemanja Matic and Fernandes in terms of being a buffer zone between the two, really. So Pogba doesn't do that. Pogba is becoming this kind of, you know, this real enigma that never delivers for Man United. And if I was Ole Gunnar Solskjaer or Ed Woodward, I'd sell him. I'd sell him before the transfer deadline on the 5th of October because he just doesn't do it for me. Doesn't do it at all.
But wasn't it just looking like he was perhaps going to stay with Fernandes coming and that things were all looking a lot more positive for Pogba?
Yeah, but I think the reasons that he was going to stay were the wrong reasons, really, because, you know, the pandemic's happened and a lot of clubs haven't got any money. Real Madrid can't afford him now. Juventus can't afford him now. So really, United are stuck with Paul Pogba if they wanted to sell him, and he's stuck with Man United even if he wanted to go. But, you know, we've seen in the past that clubs can be quite creative in terms of getting rid of players. Look at Liverpool when they sold Felipe Coutinho to Barcelona maybe 2 years ago. Everyone thought that was the Liverpool getting rid of the best player, setting them back. But with the money they got for Coutinho, they signed Virgil van Dijk and then Alisson Becker, which turned them into European champions and Premier League winners. So for me, if United can get anything like a decent fee for Pogba, they should get rid of him now. And that money could be used to bring in a Jadon Sancho or to bring in a Dayot Upamecano and really strengthen the team. Because Pogba's been there for 4 years now and he's not done anything significant, in my opinion.
You mentioned that cup game midweek. Mason Greenwood scored in that. You've got him in your starting lineup. If you were to pick here, you think that that's the right pick then for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer this weekend?
Yeah, I just think you've got to play to your strengths, and right now United's strengths are in their attacking position. So, and it wasn't that long ago that United went to Brighton after Project Restart began, and I think Greenwood scored a fantastic goal that night. So, he knows all about playing at Brighton. He's already got a goal against them, a spectacular goal. I think Fernandes scored as well that night. So, you know, United beat Brighton that night with a real attacking display. So, use that same formula again. Play your attacking players, play your best attacking players, and you've got a chance. You know. Don't pick players because you believe you have to, which I think sometimes he does with Pogba and even Lindelof to a certain extent. Just go with your best players, your best team. And I think on this occasion, United should go for it against Brighton with an attacking formation.
Because he's under pressure, Solskjaer, if he doesn't get a good result this weekend, isn't he?
Well, he's under pressure from the fans, I think, in the sense that they will give him a free pass in terms of the signings. There's a lot of frustration amongst the supporters right now about the lack of signings, and that was directed at the board, Ed Woodward, the Glazers. But there are also fans who are questioning Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's selections, the way he's progressing the team. And, you know, every bad result this season will add to the pressure on Solskjaer. And he started the season with a bad result. They're already behind Man City, behind Liverpool, behind Arsenal. You know, they've made a bad start to the season after just one game. So if it carries on, if Brighton get a result at the weekend and Brighton are capable of getting a result, then all of a sudden the pressure is really. And the last time United lost the first two Premier League games of the season was back in 92-93, the very first Premier League season. They won the league that season, but I don't think that's going to happen this time.
And do you think that pressure is just coming from the fans then? You don't think the board will start looking at perhaps bringing somebody else in, even if it is further down the line, if Solskjaer's not getting the results that they expect?
Well, from what I've been told, people at the club, the hierarchy at United, are very happy with Solskjaer because they believe that he's doing what he wants them to do. He's making the squad younger, he's bringing the young players through. And he's also not really giving them a lot of, not a lot of criticism in public. Jose Mourinho and Louis van Gaal are both very vocal about the lack of signings and the lack of backing at times. And they made it quite difficult for the hierarchy. Solskjaer never upsets anybody. And if you're the chief executive at Man United and your manager's not giving you any pressure, then, that's going to buy him some time. And we've seen in the past that Man United tend to allow their failing managers to last too long. Now, I'm not saying Solskjaer's failing. He got him in the Champions League last season. He has made progress, but United don't act very quickly. And especially when there's people like Mauricio Pochettino, Massimo Allegri, that are still out there waiting for jobs. You'd think the pressure would be on Solskjaer, but I don't get the impression that the pressure is coming from upstairs right now. I think it's from supporters who are growing tired of the very, very slow progress that's being made.
Yeah, perhaps he's lucky that all the fans are not allowed in the stadium right now, but all eyes will be on this game between Brighton and Manchester United this weekend as United look for a good result after what was a bad opening day for them.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.